All right, just tell me, what you think. We did the reverse mortgage. We know it's been a couple years, and you got some money. But Warren, in your own words, what's it meant for you and for Phyllis when she was around?
Well, Phyllis is no longer here, Jeff, so she was more grateful for the reverse mortgage than I am. So she is really the one I'd like to be giving this testimony. We're an average house. We had deferred maintenance on the house, and we had, we'd taken out a second mortgage on the house because we were strapped at the time. Well, this reverse mortgage thing cleaned up the second, and it gave us some cash to work with. And when we rebought the house through the reverse mortgage, we got a house that was in top condition because that was part of the process. And so, but then I like to, and oftentimes when people ask me about the reverse mortgage, rather than you, but I'll say I like it better than sliced bread. Because with sliced bread, you take a piece at a time. But you offered us the option we could take it a piece at a time, or we could take it in a lump sum. So we said, let's buy the whole loaf and we'll slice it up. So typically, we're not typical. We bought the house 35 years before, and we paid $14,500 for it. And we had it for 30 plus years. And that's why they deferred maintenance. So we got a real sizable chunk. I think at the time when we started, we had 180 some odd thousand. But by the time the deferred maintenance and the second was cleared, I don't know what the chunk was. But all I know is we took a trip to Alaska. That's something that when I was 8 years old I wanted to do, but never could afford it. We took the inland passage and went to Alaska. Loved it. We had a delightful trip. And then shortly after that, Phyllis was diagnosed with colon cancer and got into her liver. And we spent a little over a year in chemotherapy. Well, we have the HMMO, Health Mismanaged Organization. And in a little less than a year, we had $22,000 copay. Just $22,000 out of copay. And there's no way we could have handled that. Just no way we could have handled that. Fact is, when the oncologist told us that he wanted to put her on a medication that would run $100, she said, no, I can't afford that. No. His cell phone rang and he had to leave the room to tend to business. So I said, honey, we couldn't have afforded. 3 months ago, I'd have to say you have to die. But now we have the funds from that reverse mortgage. We should be grateful and thankful for what we have. And she said, oh, yeah. Boy, Jeff, thanks. Thanks for that. Oh, yeah, honey. Swell. So, Jeff, that set us on $22,000 out of pocket on just copay. So it was a godsend, and that's why I liked having it in the whole loaf at one time. When we sliced it up, we took the pieces out as we wanted, and we were able to take the trip. We had another trip planned. Didn't come to fruition, but that wasn't the point. The point is we did have the funds. We paid for that house for over 20 years, and rather than letting the equity sit there and do nothing, we used the equity. And our two kids, we have two daughters, and both of the kids says, Dad, we can't afford your lifestyle, so why don't we let you do what you have to do and whatever's left over. And Jeff, I want to tell you that since that time, the house has appreciated over $70,000 to $80,000. So we're using the money, and the kids have still got an inheritance. And that's why Phyllis was so grateful for the reverse mortgage.
You know, you made a comment about the dignity issue too. You want to revisit that?
Well, if we had been worried, concerned about the economics of her treatment with chemo, that's a strain. That's a real strain. And when you're already under strain of chemo, that's a bigger strain. But Jeff, both Phyllis and I, before she passed away, both of us agreed that she was able to die in dignity, not worried about where the next $100 was going to come from. The reverse mortgage gave it to us. So I can say that my wife died 4 months ago in dignity. And I want to thank you for it, Jeff.
You bet. And you don't mind if we share your story with other folks?
If you invite me, I'll have lunch with you and we'll do it.
Okay. All right, very good. Anything else you'd...
Jeff, I'm just so grateful that we did listen when you offered it. I'm a gambler. I was ready to go in and gamble. My wife was conservative. That's why the Lord put us together. And we agreed. And that was one time that in our marriage that we agreed. And I'm sure glad. Thanks again, Jeff.